Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So what I've got today is bounty hunters. And yeah, I'm mainly talking about bounty hunters because if they are in fact still existent in today's time, whereas compared to about 100 years ago, or even more than that, we've had ourselves lots of them. Bounty hunters were all over the place, acting as some sort of police officer that would be geared to having a large sum of money paid to them just to put someone out of their misery. To put a bullet through someone's head, mainly. But of course, the fact is that the law, especially here in America, really gears out to a different perspective in life today. We mainly try to keep our criminals alive because, of course, if criminals end up dead, then it would mean the case is closed, but it would mean that we have ourselves unanswered questions. So that, of course, is how America always resorts to having their officers, to keeping the targets alive whenever possible. At worst, they'd probably put a bullet through someone's leg or anywhere else in the body to try to slow them down or stop them from getting away. But I really just had no feeling about that part, so I'm probably just going to ignore that for now. Anyhow, though, going back to bounty hunters, though, the fact is that bounty hunters were really big back then. Super big. Bounties ended up being placed on anything out there whenever possible. Other people or animals usually had bounties placed on them. And it's mainly because of the fact that nowadays, anyone out there is trying to get themselves geared up to try to get themselves a large sum of money. And bounty hunting, of course, was a job that was really big back then. But here in today's time, we're practically getting ourselves a much better look at police officers or military personnel. And it's mainly because anyone out there who would actually end up becoming the one to have themselves a bounty placed on their head, it's really anybody's guess how, at some point, anyone out there who would end up going after the bounty, depending on how much money is put out to them, it's really something that anyone else would try to look forward to getting at some point. Because having yourself a large sum of money would allow you to do anything you could have. But the fact that bounty hunting is practically non-existent because of the advent of more police officers and other military personnel that would end up taking out the targets in different ways. The officers, of course, would resort to keeping the targets alive, just to have questions answered and just to have some justice done on them. But whereas most military personnel would end up going out onto a battlefield to take out targets, not really to keep any of them alive. But, of course, there's probably more to those systems that there are in today's time. Because back then, that's mainly what we looked up to. So at this point, we probably would not consider bounty hunters as a really big thing out here in 2019, compared to somewhere like 1910. Mainly because that was actually a really big type of career anybody could get into back then. But in case bounty hunting still does exist and that we're practically unaware of it, then of course we probably should talk to each other about that. We probably should try to get a note about if bounty hunting still is an existing thing out there that anybody could try their hand out. And so that probably just leads me to feeling like it's confusing at times, but bounty hunting might be something that is still around and just super rare as an opportunity that anyone can have as a job. So, alright then. That's pretty much all I got to talk about here. But of course I've got lots more to talk about here, so if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.